So specifically, what assurances did the Ghanaian ambassador provide that convinced you to suspend your strike?
Yes, so basically, she invited us through the head of the Chancery for a meeting, and we attended the meeting in London on Tuesday. And then she gave us she showed me some of the evidence and of the effort she has made, including some of the very important confidential informations and her conversation with the presidency and also with the registrar, and the progresses she's making in terms of resolving the challenges. So basically, that was what got us convinced. In any case, to be fair to her, this is the first time that we are engaging her directly. And so it is just, plausible that we give her that sort of, benefit of the doubt. And I have to take this opportunity to commend her for taking that particular action. We presented to her 5-point demand, which include the payment of the stipend, the tuition fee, cumulatively amounting to about £3 million. That is about 54 million Ghana cedi, which we estimate that will address all the problems, both for the tuition and the stipend. Then we also talk about the issue of the renewal letters. And as you can see, I forwarded some messages to you. When I wake up early in the morning, those are dozens of messages and present, information I get from students every day. So sometimes it's not very easy. So the letter of renewal letters, because with the PhD, as you may understand by now, every year we have a progression review, and following through that progression review, you have to re-enroll because the PhD is 4 years. And so if somebody's fee is paid for 2 years, and then in the 3rd year, he doesn't have or she doesn't have a renewal letter, it means the person is stuck because you cannot re-enroll. So right. all the issues do not border necessarily on payment of money. There are some that are purely administrative, which requires that letters are issued to students to facilitate. So if you see the 2 messages I sent to you, they are all due. One person is going to be.
We'll come back to those messages. But what I really want to understand is, in your engagements with the United Kingdom ambassador, did she give any timelines? Because really, you are fighting against those timelines to ensure that you stay in school and complete. So were there any timelines given?
Yes, so she did say to us that we should give her up to the middle of next month, which is February, to get the issue resolved. And then when she and I were going down the stairs to have a photo op, she said to me confidentially that, look, you have already seen the actions I've taken, and then, if you guys are lucky, maybe the issue might even get addressed even before then. And I think yesterday she did send me a text as well. So yes, she has given some sort of assurance that within this framework, time framework, she will be able to give us some sort of correspondence. We all understand that it is the first quarter disbursement is supposed to be done sometime in March or April.
Right.
But because of the agency of the matter, she has taken some proactive measures, and she has shown me evidence of those measures. So I strongly also believe and suspect that she would follow up and then work on the decision.
So now let's come to the current situation amongst you students. So I know that it's been difficult, especially trying to pay your fees, also trying to even keep up with stipends and whatnot. How is the situation now as we speak?
Yes, so for now, the situation remains nearly the same. As I see consistently, this is an inherited situation, which everybody understands. The challenge is that, as I said to you, not all the issues that required physical financial commitment. Some of them required letters, and so there are some administrative challenges as well. So, like the gentleman's details I sent to you, you could see that there is supposed to re-enroll, but because he doesn't have the renewal letter, he cannot re-enroll, and this gentleman is blocked. And as you are talking, I'm receiving a call from him and other people as well. So it's kind of
this gentleman, if you don't mind, is supposed, I think, it has an ultimatum of 12 February to evict the school?
So that is the second person. Yes, that's the second person
right.
that's ultimatum up to 12 February.
In the circumstances that you've had conversations with the UK High Commissioner, possibly by that date, would he have received payments?
Okay, so on the issue of the, so we've raised 5 issues: the stipend, the fee, the renewal letter of no objection, and then also our robust engagement, future engagement, consistent engagement with the registrar himself. And she really assured me that she was going to speak to the registrar, and then they see how they can address the renewal letters urgently. And so we do hope that, because 2 of the information I sent to you, one of them doesn't need a fee payment outright. One of them requires the renewal letter. Then the other one is blocked, and he doesn't even have access to the university portal. So they will need to make payment and then raise the renewal letter for him before he can now re-enroll back onto his program. So it's a very tall, complex web of challenges that has been piled up over the years for most of the students studying in the UK under the PhD program.
Right. So how does this really affect academic work? If this person has to re-enroll, does that mean that the work is done all through the years or over that academic period is now out of the window?
Yes. So once you are not able to, because the UK system, education system, is different from ours. So they set everything automatically. So when the period comes for you to re-enroll or re-register and you are not able to do it, the system block you and then automatically issue you a withdrawal letter. And so the withdrawal letter then is then processed to the Home Office, and then you get deportation notice. So for those now, and legitimately, there are some of our colleagues that are living here, illegally, because their visas have run out because of the situation. So it's quite, it's a serious problem. But academically, if you ask anybody that has genuinely done a PhD before, he will tell you that psychologically and mentally and socially, you don't want to be seen in the media or in the public space talking, because the process itself comes with some level of humility. So this particular situation itself has gotten a lot of health and psychological implications for most of the students, to be honest with you, because I've gone through that process, the PhD route, almost at the tail end of finishing off, more or less. So I know what this can be. And when students don't have any access to their portals, they are not paid, and then some of them have to go and purchase, some colleagues, or some of them basically have to depend on food banks and all that. It's really traumatizing. And sometimes I even wonder how we manage to even still make it to the end of the tunnel by finishing up with the PhD. So it's not really a very, very easy road for most of these PhD students that are studying in the UK.
When this happens, does it extend their stay in school? I mean, automatically translating to more cost, if I may say.
So basically, when you are withdrawn, your details are processed to the Home Office. The Home Office issues a deportation notice. Once you are withdrawn from the school, you are no longer considered as being sponsored by the university.
Right.
So even if the GSS, the Scholarship Secretariat, pays them the money, in certain situations, you have to go back to your country and then reapply and you now be admitted freshly as a new student. Sometimes in some other universities, they will give you some concessions where you can progress from that. Some they will drop you back, and some also they'll tell you, okay, because your existing visa is still not expired before the payment is made, you could do the application within the UK. But most often than not, once the withdrawal is done and the Home Office is notified, even if the GSS eventually make the payment, you still have to leave the country to be able to reapply. And as you know, the scholarship doesn't cover air ticket, it doesn't cover application for visa. So students are the one that bear all these costs. That, as you said rightly, is an additional cost to students to be able to facilitate themselves back into the country. So as I speak to you, one of my executives is in, 2 of them actually. One is locked up because he was coming to the country and he was returned. And then another one had to quickly submit his thesis because his visa was running out, of course, because of the situation. By the time the payment was made, his visa had already run out, so he has to go to Ghana and then do the rest of the via online. So that is the level at which the situation is. But we are most grateful that the High Commissioner has taken up the issue, and she has demonstrated commitment, and I think she's action oriented, and I believe that she will be able to really like address this concern for the students.
Well, your strike was supposed to come off on the 20th of this month, right?
Yes, so
okay,
the protest was supposed to be next week, Wednesday. Yeah.
Right, and you called that off. In what format was it going to take, really?
Yes. I mean, once that is called off now, I'm not sure we can discuss the details because there was going to be some surprises in there. It's not in anybody's interest. And then I mentioned that to the High Commissioner herself, and I think that was the tipping point that actually, got them to invite us, because PhD students can only do that once. They can't do that twice, because the whole point is that as you are even there, you are supposed to be doing a presentation somewhere, or you're supposed to be doing a seminar, or even teaching somewhere. So yes, it was going to be a bit of drama, but I was also hoping very strongly that we doesn't get to that level. And thankfully, she has come to our rescue. So maybe the details we'll share privately.
Well, we are hoping that the payments are made. But barring that, it doesn't happen. Would you now bring back on the table the protest?
So yesterday I had a long meeting in the night with the student body, and I've asked them, pleaded with them, that they should give us the chance as executives to, collaborate with the scholarship management and then the High Commissioner to address the issue. And so, to a very large extent, they appear to agree with us, except that all of them wanted to know a timeline, which we communicate to them that the High Commissioner access to give at least up to the middle of February. Maybe for now, I would say is that let's keep it at that. And then when nothing happens, then we probably will get back to her. I'm sure she will give us some feedback, and then we will now know what will be the next step.
Right. Thank you so much, Prince, for joining our desk this morning. We wish you all the best.
Thank you.